Well, I'm going to go in reverse on that. I have no plans on coming back. So enjoy me while I'm here, because this is the last rodeo. I can guarantee that. I think that what's fascinating is that science is now starting and only starting to be able to penetrate those veils that the Vedic teachers and other masters have been talking about for thousands of years, and that death is a transitory state into another form of consciousness, and that people don't truly die, at least their spirit doesn't. And I think this is a good place to end, because you know, I don't know, when you think you're kind of new agey, you kind of think you know everything, and then it's just people kind of expanding the thought, you know, like, you know, be yourself. It's like, I've read that in 7 books, you know what I mean? There's nothing new there.
Right.
But occasionally you read something you think, that's very interesting, that's something I hadn't thought of. And in reading one of the Krishna texts, I can't say his name, the man who founded the Krishna movement in the United States. Does anybody know his name? Prabhupada? Prabhupada? Yes. He was the master who came here and brought us Hare Krishna to America.
Okay.
He talks about that the body is not you. You know, so people who understand spirituality understand the idea. It's like, you are not your body is not you. Your body is a mechanism. And what he said that was so fascinating, it was so simple, but it was beautifully said. He said, even the most desirous woman, you know, the most famous movie star in the world, the minute you take that spark of the body, nobody wants the body anymore. And that was a really beautiful way to put it. And what he was saying is, what you're really chasing is the spark, and not what you see. What you see is the matrix. It's some sort of construct. And I think that really helps, you know. So when we joke about the ghost of Billy Corgan, and you know, the guy on stage going on about things that didn't happen, and me at Disneyland looking miserable, even though I had a great day. Right? The more you can understand and break the spell and understand that you are not what is being thrown at you, the more personal power you have to affect an outcome. And I think that's probably the great frustration of human life, is feeling powerless against something that seems to just be trampling over your version. No one's stopping and asking you, hey, is it okay with you if we... You know, like... Oh God, no, I'm not going to say that. That'll definitely end up peddling. I've done pretty well so far.
Okay, so you do believe in reincarnation, but you're just choosing not to come back.
Well, if you believe in reincarnation, you also believe that you have the ability to control whether or not you come back, and so therefore I believe this is it.
You've had enough lives, and they've been good ones.
This one's not been a good example for one to come back.
Right. Well, then that means you're definitely coming back, because they'll say, you haven't learned this, swoosh you back out to the universe.
And that's your belief system, Jen.
No. Well, if you're involved enough where you can choose not to come back. I believe that.
I like to subscribe to the idea that the omnipotent force knows our heart. And so if intention is important, well, then the mother who takes care of their child and the father who works 2 jobs to feed his kids, or the person who stops on the side of the road when somebody's ass out and they need a tire change. That's divinity. My version of it, which is sort of like a kabuki play, you know, like a strange, weird hall of mirrors of my own creation. And I'll make it succinct so that it can at least end on a resolve, because I'm a musician, we need to resolve. I went through this, you know, and I talk a lot about it in my book, about feeling dispossessed by whatever system I was in. Family, school. Okay, fine. When you're 18, 19, you think, right, at least now I get to make the call. It's not teacher number 1 or school bully number 2. I'm going to make the call. So I entered the music world very naively thinking, right, it's a meritocracy. Just got to be great, got to play great. Had one of the best drummers in the world, here we come, da-da-da. The minute, and it was collective, wow. The minute we saw, and in this we were family, the minute we saw that they just weren't going to give it to us, whatever that was, the review, the high five, and it started in Chicago. It didn't. New York was the left hook, but Chicago was like gut punching us before we left. Once we saw that, we made a very interesting decision, and it was a collective decision that we were going to fight back. And we were going to fight back kind of dirty. We were going to turn everything you thought about rock and roll and even gender, and we had, a Japanese man in the band, we turned every version of it up on its head. And every time they said, you're this, we were jumping around. Until literally there were so many mirrors and so many deceptions and so much weirdness, I think we forgot what we were doing. But the beauty of it was that we trusted ourselves enough to think that whatever we were after was more important than what was being offered. As long as we stuck to that, incredible, valuable things happened. Things that people still want to talk about. So that's the gold. And, it's, we call it the road less traveled or whatever. That's a choice that you make. There are contemporary artists of mine who are far more successful, who I admire. I certainly wouldn't sit here and tell you they don't belong at the top level. When I turn on the TV and I see somebody that I think is been given a boost over the wall, I don't sit there and think they don't belong there or they're not talented. I don't think that. I just think that they've done a better job of playing a game, which is the other side of the street, which is saying what you want to hear, doing what you got to do, wearing the same shirt for 20 years, whatever that takes, right? And so and this goes back to the veil, the spell. Take anybody like that looks a little bit too cozy in the Parthenon up there, and look and say, what do they stand for? Not what do they represent? That's easy. What do they stand for? And if they stand for something, are they active in it? Because even a sinner can affect great change through contrition. Because I don't believe that anybody who is pulling some deception on the public, particularly on a mass scale, is unaware. They are more than aware of what they're doing. There is a human cost. And like one of those bad movies like The Wicked Witch, they just turn to dust. So I have to believe in that just universe to know that, yes, they might be there and I might be here and they might be there and I might be here, but I at least know that whatever I'm building or built has a solidity to it that isn't interdependent on the reflection coming back in equal measure. Like if I wear this shirt and I get the faux hawk, you're going to love me, right? And you're going to buy my, you know what I mean? I shattered that paradigm a long time ago, and that's where I am forever grateful to the original band. Because as early as 1989, we made this decision to tell everyone to fuck off. In an artistic way. Because we believed that what we represented in terms of a form of truth, not the truth, a form of truth, which is just the contrarian's point of view. Like, let's call it the music version. Last thing. You're in a hotel room somewhere, you wake up, 5-star, here's the paper, let's see if there's a review. Big review, circa 96, whatever. The first sentence says, I don't know if I just saw a great concert or 4 people making fun of rock and roll. I can't tell you what I just saw. All right, that's it. That's it. The uncomfortable space is the space. Thank you.
Bravo!